I'm Joseph Capone, and this is High School World History. Today we're going to be talking about why ancient Greece is the greatest civilization of all time. Mr. Capone, isn't Rome the greatest civilization of all time? No, high school me. In reality, Rome may seem all big and mighty, but Greek is actually responsible for a lot of Rome's success. Roll the intro. You may be asking yourself why ancient Greece is the greatest civilization of all time. Well, it really involves a few things. Firstly, government and law. The Greeks not only invented democracy, but they also invented the jury trial. Two systems we use to this day. Democracy is a political system of decision-making within an institution in which all members have an equal share of power. Democracy in its earliest form is generally associated with the efforts of the ancient Greeks. Even the word democracy is a composite of Greek words demos and kratos. Demos meaning the people and kratos meaning power. The power with the people, which is democracy. The Greeks are considered the founders of Western civilization. 18th century academics even attempted to use these early democratic systems and turn them into a new template for post-monarchical political organization. These 18th century democratic revivalists succeeded in turning the democratic ideals of the Greeks into the dominant political system for the next 300 years. Yay, democracy! We thank Greece for all of democracy. But the men, sorry ladies, that are responsible for the democracy we see today were those who resided in Athens. Athenian democracy developed around the 5th century BC and is the first known democracy in the world. It was a system of direct democracy in which participating citizens voted directly on legislation and executive bills. Participation was not open to all residents. To vote, one had to be an adult male and a citizen of Athens. The number of eligible voters out of the total population of around 300,000 was no more than 50,000 people. Democracy was a way to combat tyranny, an idea conceived by Cleanthes as a system which could allow the people of Athens to vote for who they wanted to represent them. We can easily say if it was not for the Greeks, we would not have these amazing civilizations we live in today. Thanks, Greece. Next up, we have the Greek invention of the jury trial system. The earliest form of the modern jury system appeared in ancient Greece in the city-state of Athens. No surprise there, Athens was pretty cool. There are records of jury courts dating back to 500 BCE. These juries voted by ballot and were eventually granted the power to dissolve undemocratic laws, thus introducing the practice of judicial evaluation. For normal cases, the juries were of up to 500 citizens. For more serious cases, the trial was before a jury of up to 1,500 people. In such large juries, the vote did not have to be unanimous either. Majority rules in those cases. Jurists would submit one of two ceramic discs to cast their vote. And since Periclean time, jurists would be compensated for their sitting in court all day with the amount of one day's wage. I wonder what happened to that tradition. I'm talking to you, jury duty. To all those people out there who think Rome is so cool, you can just thank Greece for giving Rome one of their political systems and their law system. Where are we at so far? Let's see. Democracy and the jury system. Greece isn't looking so bad now, eh? All right. Next up, we have military strategy. The Greeks fought a lot of wars, and I mean a lot. A lot. However, their success was not just a fluke. They were quite proficient in battle strategy. This primarily came from the implementation of the Phalanx. You may have thought the Romans came up with that one. Nope. They stole from the Greeks. What is that? Greek 3, Rome 0? Whatever, man. The Phalanx is a battle formation created by the ancient Greeks involving a large group of soldiers acting as one entity. They were usually composed entirely of infantry armed with really long spears. Now, I mean really long. Now, this term is commonly used to describe the use of this formation in ancient Greece, but ancient Greek writers used it to describe any mass infantry formation. Now, the Greeks relied so heavily on this formation during the Peloponnesian War, both Athens and Sparta used the phalanx on each other. This formation revolutionized infantry combat, which transitioned from a bunch of dudes running at each other to an intense battle of strategy. Due to the transition of war going from small local battles to large deadly wars, Greece implemented additional resources into naval strength, resulting in the Trireme. The Trireme was a light wooden ship, highly maneuverable, and fitted with a bronze battering ram at the front, which could disable enemy vessels. It was used in the most famous naval battle against the Persians, the Battle of Salamis, in 480 BC. The ship was highly innovative and allowed the Greeks to dominate the seas. Their naval crafts would also go on to influence the design of the ships made by Rome. Now, when it comes to Greece being the greatest civilization of all time, it goes without saying that Greece's language, literature, art, entertainment, and sports were all huge contributors. First off, the Olympics we host today are based off the Greek Olympic Festival held to honor Zeus, in which they participated in various physical activities, just like we do today. In the field of language, the Greeks had Greek, which would then lead the Romans to Latin and then eventually English. Lastly, the biggest artistic accomplishment Greek had was their innovation in the mind through philosophy and literature. Greek philosophy is one of the longest lasting legacies of ancient Greece, and the works of Plato and Socrates still are taught today due to the impact they made on the perception of the natural world. Most famously, we recognize Plato's allegory for the cave and Aristotle's unmoved mover. We even have the fantastic universe of mythology created by the Greeks that influence pop culture today. So why is Greece the greatest civilization of all time, you may ask? Well, it's because of its legacy on the Western world. Let's recap. Democracy, invented by the Greeks, used today. The jury system, invented by the Greeks, used today. The Phalanx and the Trireme, invented by the Greeks and used by the Romans, a civilization that is widely perceived as the greatest civilization of all time. I mean, overrated much, but whatever. The Olympics, invented by the Greeks, held today. Greek philosophy, taught by the Greeks and taught today. Even the religion they created receives a ton of attention due to its use in popular culture. Greece is the best because it has marked its place into the history of the world. Even the battle strategy the all-powerful Roman army used was stolen from the Greeks. So you know what? Let's stop praising Rome so much and start praising Pericles, the father of democracy, and Plato, the founder of the academy in Athens. Let's give Greece the praise it deserves. Greece is the greatest civilization of all goddamn time. Well, that's all for me, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you next time on High School World History.